I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Jam Session Goes Underground. This is the last live episode of the season. It will return January 7th. The next episode will be a pre-recorded episode and it will be a guest montage. So it's basically going to be about me thanking all of the wonderful guests that I've had on this season. And it's been an incredible season. I've had so many talented guests on the show. And I'm very grateful that, they were guests on my show. And tonight is not any different. Next season, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. The Jam Session Goes Underground will return January 7th, but I need to mention that it's getting split in half. And what I mean by that is my daughter's going to be taking over, Miss Willow. She's going to be taking over a kid-friendly version of the Jam Session, and her show will be called the Jam Session Takeover, and she will start her show January 21st. So you have the Jam Session Goes Underground every first Saturday next season, and her show every third Saturday next season. She will also have Mellow Out that will go back to back with her show, the Jam Session Takeover. And what that show is about, creativity. She'll be painting and all that fun stuff. So I had to mention it. I had to give a shout out to my daughter. She's looking very forward to this. She's excited about it. So on tonight's episode of the Jam Session Goes Underground, I have a very special guest that I consider a friend, and he's extremely talented. Without further ado, may I introduce you, Bob Ross.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Jamie. I appreciate that. And thank you, Renee, also for engineering this.
Yes. Shout out to Renee for directing this. Thank you so much. So, I don't know. This is your stage. You can promote whatever you want. You can play whatever songs you want. Talk about whatever you want. If there's anything you want to promote, it's easy peasy show. So, just go with the flow.
Okay. Well, I'll do some promotion, and also just want to share some topics and on abuse and on suicide and my experiences. I wasn't able to participate earlier with that, but this is an ongoing issue. But I also want to promote Mercy for Life. I give to them monthly. Their work is at the base poorest people, and they're bringing people into lives of happiness. And I just so much admire, and I get frequent posts from them. And it's a big shout out to Mercy for Life. And anybody who's interested, if you want to talk to me about it, I'll be glad to give you the info, and also maybe Renee can display that info. But it'll be around. So that's a project that I'm very happy to say that I've been involved with. And I also want to give a little shout out to Olive Chacha. She's has developed with a couple of other people a pilot for a very interesting show called Group, and it is in the filming production at this point. We're all very excited about it. It's something that's going to deal with mental illness And we're going to break through and just destroy all the stigma related to accepting in ourselves when we have mental issues. There's a lot of resistance in society to allow us to say, hey, I'm not doing good. Because then that on a societal level, there's this stigma of being, if you're not strong, you're weak. And then Darwin's rule comes in. So this is, these are issues that I'm very concerned about. These are things that I want to put my time into and my effort. For my own therapy, I've been fully embracing music, and I've done this since I was about 10 years old. That was when I got my first guitar, and soon after, my first drum set and a flute and then another guitar, and it just kept going like that. And so I'm not music literate. I have been in the past. I don't use sheet music anymore, so I've forgotten how to. And it's okay. You can be a musician and not be able to read music, especially now because there's all this amazing software. I can sing into some software and it will lay it out for sheet music. So it's very cool. This is another personal project I'm working on, is the studio. Beach Haven Studios is coming along. The bed and breakfast, which maybe some of you know, I manage a family estate bed and breakfast, and it's really it's a very large house with quite a few bedrooms, and it also has a large ballroom and a studio as well, which was a library, but I'm converting it into an audio video studio. So we're going to have projects going on right here at Beach Haven. I'm very excited about that.
Oh, it sounds very exciting. I look forward to those projects and seeing what comes from those projects.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you will. You're going to come to Athens. I'm certain of that.
Yeah. I've met Bob Ross. I had the honor of meeting Bob Ross in person, and and I met you through Cosmos. So that's pretty awesome. I loved the KMH Fest that I went to. I loved every minute of it, meeting everybody. It was wonderful.
That was so fantastic. It was just last March. I'm missing it so much. It seems like it was years ago.
Yeah.
We've actually had another gathering since then, but that one was very special. The last one, MM showed up. Shout out to MM. Thank you so much for all you do for Cosmos, MM.
Yes.
You're awesome. So if you interject anytime you want to, I'm just throwing stuff out there. I've got a lot of things going on in my life. I'm promoting self-love as much as anything, and I'm practicing that with a few things. Diet is very important for self-love, and preparing our food too. So one of the projects that I do on Facebook, which is mostly just for fun, is I will photograph the materials I'm using to cook, and I promote organic, and I promote non-GMO and local. And these are the things that make the food at its best. So I do promote a lot of organic, and there's enough research for me to say I'm on the right there, and people should pursue this. The more we pursue organic, the more organic there will be, and the price will go down. So so that's a project that also bleeds into my personal world right here. Is I was an organic farmer in the 90s. I did a third of an acre down the hill from my house here, and I sold to some of the famous restaurants in town: the Last Resort, the Grit, the Mayflower, Bluebird Cafe. All of these were icons in Athens, and also I sold to Phoenix and Daily Grocery. These were holistic places. This was before we had certified organic, so I called myself organic, and I am organic, but I never got certified. So, and also I was a UPS driver all that time. So I'm doing this 50-hour-a-week job, and I'm trying to farm, and I have kids too. So I'm raising kids.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's an amazing, these kind of challenges, it gives me so much room to give myself space to say, okay, I haven't done this yet. I'm not finished, but I'm still working on it, and just keep moving forward with all these projects. And it's really, I'm really surprised because I'm going to share this on an open level. Last November, I hit the very bottom of alcoholism. I was drinking a horrible amount of tequila on a daily level, and I was truly toxic, and I was becoming toxic on a social level, and just vomiting every day, and everything, and I gained a bunch of weight. So all of this stuff came together in this kind of lump of, are you going to live or you're going to die? And it came down to that. And from that moment, my life has changed so much. I can't tell you the difference that clearing myself of the alcohol toxins, and also working on my diet, and working with raw materials, and fixing it myself, and fixing it like I'm somebody special, not just slop it together, throw it on a plate, and watch TV. Really celebrate that I made this awesome food for me. And this is a practice of self-love. And I think people mistake it for being self-absorbed. And that's just not at all the case. It's me saying, I'm going to take the best care I can. So when I go to the grocery store, I spend $30 more because I'm going organic. You know, what else can I spend my money on? It's a better investment.
Yeah, exactly. And since you brought it up, like, I didn't tell my story during, the fundraiser, the 988, the whole thing. Yep. I didn't tell my story during that, but like my grandma was an alcoholic when I was growing up, and she would blame me for things that my cousin would do. Like, she had her favorite grandkid, and she would always blame me for the bad things my cousin would do. And it got to a point where I didn't feel like I was loved by my grandma. And, she finally got sober, and I finally had my grandma back in my life, like when I was 13. But I missed out on all that time with her when I was little. And, I've hit rock bottom. I've hit like a dark place because when I was in college, I had like trauma to happen to me. So like, I can understand that. Like, I totally understand that. And it's very important to take care of ourselves. It's very important to, eat the right things to feel better about ourselves.
Well, the self-medicating concept, it's very valid. I didn't recognize it. I thought I was just partying, but it's kind of weird. I was 14 and I was partying like I was a college student. And it came out of the fact that I was violently and sexually abused when I was 9 years old. And that experience also encompassed a threat on my life that I would be killed if I said anything. And I took that as reality, and I held on to it until I was 27. And at that point, that's when I finally was able to talk to somebody about it. And I realized at that moment how liberating it was. And I was so frightened and stigmatized in my own mind from it that I asked this guy to turn the light off so I could tell him the story about what happened. Because I was still experiencing the shame of, and even though I was a child, and certainly I wasn't asking for this to happen to me. But I was still feeling the shame, and also the effect it had on me socially was so detrimental. All of those hidden years when I was growing up and trying to fit in, and always struggling with these issues in my mind. so I see that all of that started with that trauma, and then my grades plummeted. I started doing any drug I could get my hands on. By the time I was done. By the time I was 18, I was like, I've done it all. I just was, good luck, y'all, as you grow up doing this stuff. But it was all self-medication. So I started getting treated for depression in my early 20s, even though I didn't talk about what was going on. And these were early meds, and they broke the cycle, but it also gave me a eating disorder that started out as like a pre-ulcer condition. I just couldn't, because of the meds, I couldn't hold food down. And I lost 40 pounds in just a matter of weeks. And this was all culminating. It's like, how much worse is my life going to be? And I wasn't focused on how all this led. Where it all came from. I was focused on just getting through it. But it comes, the realization for me has come that it comes in baby steps. The recovery does. And I don't know if it'll ever be completely right. And I don't even know what right is, because so much of who I am now is a result of that incident. And who I am now, I freaking love. I think I'm a really cool person. And I think I'm learning a lot. I still have my issues, but it's so exciting. I'm 64 years old. I'm living the happiest years of my life right now. And it's like, wow, okay, so I'm going to hang around for another 30 or 40 years or so.
That's awesome. I'm happy that you're in a happy place. Like, that's wonderful news to hear. And thank you for sharing your story with us. We, nothing but respect for you.
Oh, we have to respect ourselves anyway, no matter what. So, I've loved myself enough. I respect myself enough now that I'm not going to be that victim anymore. There's a time and a place for that. And that victim is constantly looking for something or someone to pull them through. And I've realized that I will pull myself through, and that's as it should be.
Yeah.
I can't expect anyone else to do it for me. They can stand there, they can pat me on the back, they can encourage me, they can call me out when I need it, and I love my friends that do that. And I've got a bunch of them here in my world and also in our world.
Yeah.
They'll call me out in a heartbeat, and I need it too. We all do, but some people, our egos will interfere with the acknowledgement that, man, I screwed up. I got that wrong. And I'm learning that that's essential for me to own it, and then make amends if need be, clarify, whatever it takes, but keep marching through it.
Yeah, that's an important life lesson. That's something I learned. I'm 42 years old, and it took all this time for me to learn to just calm down, take a deep breath, and not stress about everything under the sun. Take a moment to meditate, take a moment to just calm down and realize it's not worth stressing over. It's not worth making yourself sick over. So that's good outlook that you have. It looks like we have quite a few of our friends in the audience. Rory Penland's here and he's saying hello. And then Madeline's here and Bridget's here. And I don't know if it's Julio or not. It's Facebook user. And then Charlie Thompson's here. So hello, gang. I appreciate you guys being here.
And a special tribute to Facebook user. Whoever you are, thank you for coming.
Hello, Facebook user / Julio, if that's you, because I don't know.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
Whoever you are, thank you so much for being here.
Well, and thank all of you for coming here. I do want to give a shout out to just about everybody you called out, but I'll just say that my music experience started taking off, and I'm going to give Renee credit right here. when I met Renee online, we were in the thick of COVID, and there wasn't a Cosmos. There was barely a KMH. There was a SDF, and it was just like, wow, look at this world and all. But I confided in her that I was a musician. I don't know if I confided in her, but I just told her that I hadn't been playing much, and that all my instruments got stolen, which they did. I lost everything in a burglary. And so she really pushed me to get back on it and start playing again. And she'd listen to some of my early scratch stuff. And you know, she's very encouraging. And I want to give her credit right there, because that from that moment on, I've just taken off with music. And I've played drums with Jeff. I play hand drums and harmonica with Sylvia. I'm sitting in with dozens of local musicians on any number of instruments, the guitar, the bass, the harmonica, the drums. I'm picking my flute back up, and Charlie walks in, and he and I are pretty rusty at our instruments, you know, but we just start jamming together once or twice a week. Now it's like, if we can't, every night, but the chemistry that we have established is just like, I don't know how to say this. It's not like, wow, we're going to be big stars. It's like, wow, how much of an expansion can we have here with this music, and how much more subtly beautiful it can get and intense. And of course, maybe you've seen some of the videos, but Maggie is our singer. Maggie is Charlie's dog, and she will sit at our feet, and she howls in key. She's pretty much
awesome.
she is in key, and she will grumble when she can't find a note, and sometimes she'll just walk away because she can't get it. But I know this sounds like I'm just pretending play, but she is genuinely interacting with us on the music.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's so wonderful. I don't think that my dog Penelope could hold a tune, but that's good to hear. Rory said that Bridget and Madeline are here as well. I want to make sure that I mention everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out that's in our audience, because you're all very, very important to me, to us. So thank you all for being here. I believe it's Madeline, Facebook user, Julio, if that's you, Rory, Bridget, Charlie. If I forgot anybody, I'm not trying to. I'm just seeing the names that are in the window here.
I appreciate everybody coming. I did want to talk about suicide. We had stumbled on that. Maybe I'll play some music. But so the first time I experienced suicide, I was 16, and I had a friend. His name was Danny Elliott, and he was a part of in the town I grew up in. There was a main stretch, and then there were these gangs, if you will. They were really just neighborhood kids that kind of became groups, if you will. I wouldn't call them gangs because we weren't all violent with each other. But my gang happened to be on the other end of Canal Boulevard, or Canal Terrace. So I had to like hitchhike or walk or whatever for 3 miles to get to hang out with my group. And Danny was a part of that group. Most everybody lived at that end of town, but Danny was a part of that group, and he was troubled, and he was kind of I don't know if he got bullied a lot, but he had the nickname Rat, and he didn't like it, and I watched him get bullied once, and I didn't step in. And I've carried guilt since then. But Danny got his dad's gun and he killed himself. And the next day, I'm at school when I find out, and we're standing in these circles out in the front. And I heard another guy who was always kind of a jackass laughing about it, and just said, "Yeah, he just blew his fucking brains out." And I just almost passed out from the feeling like these people don't even understand what's happened here. They don't understand that somebody felt so unloved that they just wanted to leave. So I just want people to understand, you don't ever know when somebody's almost there. If you can't help them, get them to help. If you can, sometimes it just takes an ear. Just listen and find them something to smile about. That's really good medicine, and it works on me. I know it does because I have dear friends who are there for me like that. That they'll listen to me and they'll call me out. I'm worth the time. So that was my first episode with suicide, and another one. I'm sorry, I'm emotional. I'm sorry, y'all. These
It's
are
a
all years ago, but it hurts, and I still
yeah.
love these people dearly. So the next one was a friend of mine who had 4 children, and they um, they were contemporary with my children. So I was contemporary with this guy. I'm not going to name names, but he he took his life, and he left his 4 kids in a traumatized, an absolute traumatized state of where I mean, it just, if you can imagine being anywhere from 7 to 14 years old and your father actively taking himself away from you on a permanent level, that that was a real eye opener for me. And unlike Danny, I didn't feel anything but shock and anger toward the people around me. But with this one, I felt anger toward him. And I just was so, for a long time, I'm just like, you must really have hated yourself to do this. Because it really comes back down to self-love.
Mhm.
And that lesson is that one of the reactions from suicide of the survivors, we have to go through a level of rage at the person who did this. It was a crime against us when they take their lives. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not sympathetic to why they did it, but and their reasons probably weren't to hurt me, but that happens. So that's another thing that people who face suicide have to get a realization of, is that I'm hurting other people by doing this.
Mm.
Um, and then my third friend who just took his life a couple of years ago he had chronic mental issues. He was very popular, um, and again, his name is Milton Leathers. He's an Athens. He was a main person in Athens. I mean, the Leathers family is, and Renee knows this too. But Milton was very charismatic and very intelligent, and his conversations, like on Facebook, were all about all these intellectual, deep, meaning discussions, and then mixed in with humor and just irony and wit. And he took his life. And for him, my experience was that he was just tormented. He couldn't take it anymore, and his family knew it, and those who were close to him also knew it. So there's all these different spectrums of suicide that I hope we can get a grasp on and begin to understand. Anyway, those are my stories with suicide, and I hope somebody can gain something from them.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. It's very, very powerful thing to do, is to share, and maybe somebody out there is watching this and it's going to help them.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for sharing.
Well, I'm glad to. I do it as a service to the people around me, both about suicide and sexual abuse
Mhm.
and violent assault. These are things that they crawl into our lives, and they fester. The longer we wait to talk about it, the more we suppress it, the more they hurt us. You know, and the person, the guy that assaulted me, I want to say this, he came from a horrible family. And within that family, in just the next few years of his life, his father killed his mother and then he killed himself. And there was abuse, incestual abuse in that family as well. And so I don't hate him. I think there was a time when I did. I did hate him. And I wanted him to suffer like I suffered. Um, but after a while, and realized what he had dealt with in his childhood and then in his adulthood, that he doesn't need punishment. He needs help at this point. He's got to be just a tortured soul to have lived through what he's experienced. And so all of this is all linked together: mental illness, suicide,
Yeah.
what leads us to mental illness, and also some people are just chemically struggling. We struggle. I'm a clinical depressed, and it's genetic. My father was too. My cousins are, and there's people all through my family, you know. And this depression is one that I've watched other family members and myself struggle with. But I'm at this place now where I can wake up and I can say, I feel like shit right now. I'm not happy right now. I feel I don't want to be around anybody. I don't want to go out of my room. And I've learned to actually tell people I love. I feel like crap, and I don't want to be around anybody. And I'm going to be in my room. But I also know this. This passes. It passes. So it's like I'll just get through it. I'll feel better, and go on with my life. Is it okay if I play some music?
Yeah, it's your stage. Do whatever you want.
Well, I'm gonna play some piano. I don't sing much with the piano, so I'm gonna play some piano, and I never play the same thing twice. So I make mistakes all through it. It's what comes out, and fortunately, that's the thing. Like with Charlie, Charlie is very intuitive with music, so he just like picks up when I'm going to make a change. He wants me to let him know, but he also is very good about figuring it out. So is this loud enough? performance. Anyway.
That sounded really good. Thank you.
Oh, it's I'm self-taught on the piano. I did take a little piano in college, and that's kind of got me to where I understood how to move my fingers. But ever since then, it's all been about just getting a feel for how things are in the song. And I don't jam very well with others on the piano because I hit a lot of sour notes all the time. Yeah, whether I'm jamming or not. So that's not. I'm not confident. It's kind of like you all try to follow this, and I'll see if I can play the same thing twice.
It's organic. That's what it is.
Yes,
It's organic music.
it's spontaneous too. It's kind of like, okay, I'll do this. I don't know what it is yet, but
I understand that. I'm a jazz musician, so I get that. You're improv and
yeah, yeah. Well, that's really the neat thing about having excuse me, having Charlie is that we're actually becoming more jazz based, and it's it's pretty it's a new music for me. So I'm going to be adventurous, and you just tell me when to like stop or quit or something. But I'm going to take us outside.
Oh, yay.
And I'm going to show you around in my messy garden a little bit. I think I can figure out how to turn my screen. I don't know yet. I don't see it. Okay, so I will just I'll talk about it and show things over my shoulder.
That works.
Okay. So this is a fig tree. So if you're ever like, need a change of clothes, I hear from old scripture that fig leaves work well if you're feeling modest. Uh, I trimmed this back last year because it was a tree last year. It just was like way up there, and and as a result, it didn't like it. I think it takes itself like I do with my hair, and it pouted, and it didn't give me one fig this last year. And it was a great year for figs, by the way, here in Athens. So I know it was a personal vendetta.
Oh, oh no.
So, as some people may know here, I build walls. I probably could have gotten a place on the Trump administration because they like walls over there. But I, I build walls, and I built this one just recently. And that drain field, there's a drain field. I don't know if I'm pointing where I'm showing, but there's a drain field that goes up through here, and it takes excess water coming down the hill, and it takes it in. So all of this is dry stack. There's no concrete involved here. This is just an art of taking rocks and seeing how they fit. It's a wonderful exploration in Zen. I look at these rocks and I'll put my hand like in a space and I'll feel it, and I'm looking around to see if I can find the rock that feels like my hand just shake. And it's like this. I know it sounds eccentric, but it's a beautiful experience in just taking the clues from nature and providing a way to express this kind of. It's almost like, okay, I'll do it that way, and that's cool. Yeah. So this is my old fire pit, and last night I celebrated what I think is the last burning on it. I built this in I don't know, early like 2000, maybe a little earlier, and I had a nice fire last night. If you go to my page, you can find it. Um, so all of this is is redoing. Redoing. This is work from years ago, and I'm taking all this out, and I'm going to make this platform much larger, and I'm going to move this fire pit.
Oh no.
It's like, oh no, somebody's going to fall. Oh no, I fell. Oh my. Anyway, and there we are. I'm building a greenhouse here. This project started in July, and I've gotten all the foundations built. And I'm going to have a winter crop. I don't think I will this year, but it'll be ready for spring. And that I have deer here, and so if I don't put up fence, everything is deer food. They love it when I go to like Lowe's or Home Depot and bring home house plants. Oh, they're like, oh, snacks, yummy. Oh, he got some. I think there we go.
Yeah, you keep freezing off and on. I think that's what somebody said in the audience.
Yeah, it's probably because I'm a little far away from the modem, so I'll be a good boy and come back in.
It's absolutely beautiful there. I've seen pictures and videos of you showing people around there.
Yeah, there's a lot of land here that I. Oops. There's my cousin's in here. She was listening, so I'm going to get the echo thing going on. Oh, hey, Ruth. So yeah, the space in the back is all old family land. We don't own it anymore. It's going to be a public park at some point. So at that point, everybody can come to visit and see the whole space. But for now, it's just under historic preservation. But the family has probably about 40 acres in the front here, and it's very pretty. So there's plenty of room to walk around. I love it here. I feel so spoiled.
Yeah, when I was younger, my mom and dad used to own a house that was like out in the country. It had woods behind it. I absolutely miss that. I miss that so much. Like where I live now, unfortunately, I don't have a very big yard. I have a big enough yard that my dog can run around in, but like they're cutting the trees down in the woods behind us, and it's like really upsetting me. I hate it. I hate it so much.
I get that. Well, that's the beauty of what we did as a family. We put lots together, and we sold it to the county. We donated, and then it was chartered under historic preservation, which it is, and because of that, it's on a river. It's become green space, and it's under a protective covenant now. So I literally cannot cut trees down in my own yard unless they're threatening my house. Which, hey, I'm good with that. I don't want to cut trees down in my yard, and nobody else can. This whole space is under a protective covenant. We can't build any other houses here. We can't clear cut anything. It's going to stay like this for perpetuation. So, and now as a family, we don't have to pay the taxes we would have paid, which were ridiculous. If you can imagine, 80 acres of land in the middle of a city that used to be out in the country. It was like $40 an acre when my great grandfather bought it. So it's gone way up, and we're a family. We don't want to sell it. I would rather it stay valued at about $40 an acre. Really, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, I really wish that the woods behind my house were protected because people think I'm crazy, but I actually have a raven that is named Mordecai, and he sticks around my yard. So he's considered my raven, free range. He will come and visit me. He actually does favors for me. He'll get like my dog's frisbee off the roof. He'll do different things, and he'll come. He comes and talks to me every day, like chitter chatters at me every day. But he's really, really upset, rightfully so, because I think they cut his tree down, like his home base down, and that was him and his partner Morgan's tree, and he came and complained at me for like hours upon hours that right after they did that. And so it's got him upset, it's got me upset, and I just absolutely hate it.
I'm sure.
That's yeah. We've gosh, don't get me started, but you already. But um,
Oh, no.
yeah, I mean, I've put a lot of thought. I got introduced to organic gardening in 1980, and I've had a lot of time to really absorb not just organic gardening, but the repercussions of our species and what we've done to the planet. I've realized that we, as a species, we recognize other species as either sentient or parasitic or symbiotic, and yet ourselves we fail to really recognize it. But so I'm going to. We are parasitic. We are not beneficial to this planet. We've done nothing but bring it destruction, and yet we're a part of it. We are of this planet, so we're going to have to figure this out. We're going to have to live sustainably, or we're not going to survive. It's
Yeah.
just that simple. The world's going to keep going without us. I mean, it'll manage without just fine without us, actually. But if we don't tend to this, we're in trouble. I'm,
Exactly.
and people say, "Oh, we got time," or climate change. That's just a myth because we've been taught that by out of from vested interests. The petroleum company didn't want to let go of the reins on power, and it didn't matter if it polluted or not. And the chemical company, the whole plastic industry is based on an unsustainable model. So now we have resins that are made from bamboo and from hemp and fibers from both of those and other plants. And we can build houses from plants that we can grow in 1 year. They're in
Yeah.
harvest them and we grow them again next year. And then we can allow trees to grow. We can pay third world nations to reforest. We pay them. We contract the citizens of those countries and create agricultural concerns, and we inject money into their economy as well as reforest the rainforest. These are projects we can do as a species.
Yeah.
If we do them, we'll make it.
Yeah. I had a show about this on the Warrior Within, which is one of my other shows, but um people just need to think before they purchase. They need to use reusable bottles to drink out of, like reusable grocery bags. Like if you do just that little bit, that's going to help tremendously. They dug tons and tons and tons of plastic out of a whale that had died on the beach. I mean, it's just scary what we're doing to our environment.
Most definitely, it is. It's sad, um, and it has to be an awakening. I hate to say it, the hippies were right. We knew it a long time ago. We tried to tell society, and they poo-pooed us off and told us to go around the side door to come in, please, because and I laugh about that stuff now because I knew I was right then, and when I say then, is in the '80s, we became a society that would deny what was coming, and it Ronald Reagan, I hate to be political, Jimmy Carter put up solar cells. Ronald Reagan, one of the first things he did was take them down. And I understand we have this industry that Wall Street is based on, the petroleum industry, and all of our infrastructure is based on using petroleum products. But we have to ask ourselves: can you breathe and can you eat plastic? And the answer is no, we can't. So it's going to have to make the changes.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you're very passionate about that subject, and I'm very passionate about that subject. Like I always tell my husband, I said, "Don't get me started. I will go on a tangent, and I can talk hours upon hours about it." I'm like, if people tell me to pick a political party, I'm not going to sit there and tell you about it. I'm gonna be like, I'm a tree hugger. I'm gonna do whatever is best for the environment.
That's right. That's it. That's the thing, is that we're not political factions. We are a species, and we have to share in the same water, drink and eat, breathe the same air, eat the same food. All of this is These are our basic essential. We need shelter, food, water, and oxygen, and we're
Yeah.
good to go.
Yeah.
But we can also have, I'm reasonably certain because of the trends in technology, we can have a very comfortable life as a species. We can have air conditioning. We have this huge ball in the sky. I mean, it's just burning the living daylights out of us when it gets half a chance.
Yeah.
There's so much energy bombarding us that, oh my gosh, y'all, come on, think it out. Let's see, maybe we start using solar cells on all of our buildings. How about that? That's a nice idea. These big towers that we put up, 80 floors of glass wall. I mean, my gosh, do it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Like people just need to they need to take the time to think about the repercussions that things have on the environment. Even when you go to shop, you really, really need to think about it. Don't be wasteful with things. Don't purchase something just because it's popular. Don't purchase something just because, oh, if I wear this object or if I get this perfume, I'm going to
yeah,
be very popular. Like, don't focus on those things. Focus on what's best for the environment, what's healthiest.
yeah, and I think it'll lead to the same place, that we feel good about ourselves. We feel, we like the aura that we put out because we're eating better, and I mean, for me, I'm also walking a lot. I've taken off 50 pounds since
That's
last
awesome.
November. So and I've got 50 more to go. So eat well, love yourself, love your friends, be there for them when they need you. That's especially important. If conflict resolution is important too, and so we just keep working on all of this together as a species and as a society. But I'm so grateful to be here with you, Jamie, to share
Thank
this
you.
time, to give myself a chance to talk to everyone, and encourage everybody. Love yourself, love your planet, love your friends, do the things that help you feel better about your life, and that help others feel better about their lives. We need each other. We need to give love to each other like this. This is crucial.
Yes.
I wish I could read the things. I'm on my phone. I can get right
Well,
up here and read them, but
uh, Lorraine said, yes, grow as much as you can. As you can, the soil needs to be covered. And Madeline says, love you, Bob. And she says she's loving this interview. And it's all wonderful, wonderful comments. And I really appreciate everybody being here.
oh, that's so sweet.
And Rory's like he's saying hi to other people in the audience, and I'm
Oh,
glad he's here.
hi, hi, Sandy.
Hello, Sandy. Sandy's here. Lorraine's here. We got a lot of the gang here.
Oh, I love Lorraine. She's such a well. I can say this about just about everybody. It's just what fantastic people we have around ourselves. It's
Exactly.
amazing. Well, we just keep moving forward with that too. I'm really happy about it all.
I'm grateful that I've gotten to meet you through this group, and everybody that I've gotten to meet through this group. It took this long in my life to meet people that I click with, creative people like me, and it's a wonderful feeling. I absolutely adore all of it.
Yeah. Well, I am going to promote Ruby here, and Ruby, I'm
Yeah, Ruby Ray.
Ruby's bringing her love to town, and I'm so excited about her coming here. We're going to play, we're going to work on music together, and we're going to see as many people as we can. Yes, Bitchin' in Ruby's Kitchen. Oh my gosh, I just got a low battery warning. So if I disappear, I got 20%. I'll be good for another 2 minutes.
It's perfect timing. If it was going to do it, it's coming to the end of the show, so perfect timing, I guess.
Yeah. But a shout out to Tom Tesher as well. I've had the honor of meeting Tom on several occasions, and he is just this vessel of optimism and hope. And he doesn't get dragged down by the negative things. He's always throwing down a positive hand, and yet relating with the struggles in the negative world that we all have. He's been a really good friend over the years. So same with so many people here. I just don't even get started. Don't get me started on loving everybody.
Shout out to Tom. He's got a show, Burn It Down. And then you got Ruby's show, Bitchin' in Ruby's Kitchen. Awesome show if you haven't checked it out. Like, there's so many wonderful shows. You got Diane's shows, Soup du Jour, and Powered by Women. I mean, she's got a few incredible shows herself. Sandy's got No Icing with Drita. I'm trying to mention all the shows. Jay Thompson's gonna, he had his shows, and he's gonna be probably bringing new things out. So
yeah,
there's never a dull moment.
I had the pleasure of playing in Jay's show. I think it was just last week. I think it was. I lose track of time, but it was a lot of fun. And also Sylvia, I love you, Sylvia. Sylvia Madrano is just, you guys, you've got to meet her. If you come to Atlanta, put that on the top of your list. She's an amazing human being.
Yes,
wow.
She is.
The conversations I shared with her were just fantastic. And the music.
Sylvia is awesome. And then you got Jeff Evans, who's awesome. CJ. Like, I mean, there's just so many talented people. I probably couldn't mention them all.
No, I don't think you can. There's too many.
Do I have another 3 hours?
Yeah, that's what it would take, definitely. A shout out to Jake and Bethy too.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm going to see them in a few weeks too.
Jake and Bethy are awesome. And then you got Keith Cutts, Casey.
Yes. Awesome. So many. Rebecca. Oh my
Julio.
God. Just keep going. Julio is so cool.
Greg Gannon. You can't forget the drunkles.
Yeah. Right. Just too many. And I'll just keep saying that because that way I don't have to. I can just say if I've left you out, I haven't, because I said there's too many. I can't.
There's too many talented people. But thank you so much for being on this program. I really appreciate you being a guest, and thank you to the whole audience. Is there anything else that you would like to mention before we wrap up?
Look, none of us are perfect. We all struggle. Always try to at least to be caring, even if, I'm dealing with anger and frustration with people in my life today, and in the end, I voice myself to them, and they listen, and we move forward, and that's what I'm having to do in everyone in my life, because I don't want to lose people. I would rather clarify and be loving with each other. I love you all. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we love you, Bob, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the audience for all the wonderful comments. You guys are just as important as I am as the host and as Bob is as the guest. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much, Bob, for being here. Thank you for sharing with us and the beautiful property that's behind you. That's absolutely breathtaking. Thank you for sharing everything. But I do have to give a shout out because I'm in the Face of Horror contest. I don't usually mention it too often on my shows, but the reason why I feel it's important to mention is because paid votes do go for a really, really good cause that I'm passionate about. It goes to the families of pediatric cancer. So I'm not just sharing it to win, I'm sharing it to get donations for the families who are suffering from pediatric cancer. That's a really, really important cause. It's a cause that's very important to me. It's close to my heart. One of my relatives' friends, little one, had been suffering from cancer since they were 4 years old, and they've been going to the hospitals nonstop, having surgeries nonstop. So it's a very important cause. Again, Bob, thank you so much for being on the show. I am very grateful to you, and nothing but respect. Thank you so much for sharing. And until next time, Catch you on the flip side.
Bye, y'all.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong.